Mark Rothko was a famous painter during the American Abstract Expressionist movement, an art movement during the 1940s and 1950s that focused on combining the process of creating art with emotional expression. He was known for developing color field painting, a style characterized by large asymmetrical rectangular blocks of color displayed along the edges of a canvas. In his work, Rothko used visual elements such as darkness, luminosity, broad spaces, and contrasting colors that brought out the sublime, which is associated with emotions of tragedy and ecstasy. In a 2016 interview with New York Academy of Art instructor David Ebony, Rothko's son Christopher reflected, "His paintings are about a journey, if you will. To find meaning in them is a personal process. My father was not dictating where the viewer should go. He is not saying this composition means X, Y, or Z. He created a space that touches us psychologically and intellectually. Drama was his word." Rothko was born Marcus Yakovlevich Rothkowitz on September 25, 1903 in Dvinsk, a small Jewish village in Russia that is now Daugavpils, Latvia. He was born to Jacob Rothkowitz, a pharmacist, and Anna Golden Rothkowitz. Rothko attended a heder, a school for Jewish children, until he emigrated to the United States with his family in the early 1910s to escape the anti-Semitic pogroms of the Russian Empire. The entire family eventually settled in Portland, Oregon. In 1914, Rothko's father died from colon cancer. His mother and siblings then worked to support the family. During his adolescence, Rothko learned English and attended Lincoln High School. He received a scholarship to Yale University in 1921. However, he left after 2 years and eventually moved to New York City, where he attended the Art Students League and briefly studied under modernist painter Max Weber. Weber encouraged Rothko to work in a style like post-impressionist painter Paul Cézanne. Rothko was also influenced by European psychoanalyst pioneers Sigmund Freud and Carl Jung, as well as his immigrant identity, Jewish heritage, and intellectual interests in philosophy, mythology, and the human condition. In his earlier works, Rothko explored the Surrealism movement, painting urban scenes and figures that reflected his interest in social themes and the emotional experience of modern life. These foundations later evolved into his signature style, emphasizing color, form, and spirituality. During the Great Depression in the 1930s, Rothko worked in the easel division of the Works Progress Administration Federal Art Project. As a result, he was financially stable and was exposed to socially engaged art, further influencing his exploration of urban scenes and social themes. The horrors of World War II and the Holocaust deeply affected Rothko, sparking his interest in the human condition, mortality, and spirituality, which are central themes that shaped the emotions shown in his later abstract works. One significant abstract piece by Rothko is number 61. Using thin washes of oil paint, he incorporated his color field method by layering bold and saturated colors of rust and different shades of blue in rectangular forms. The middle layer is a lighter shade of blue, adding a luminous quality that Rothko referred to as inner light. Number 61 communicates with viewers through spirit and emotions. The rust and blue tones may reflect Rothko's struggles, immigrant identity, and Jewish heritage. Another popular abstract work done by Rothko is number 14, featuring rectangular fields of orange and blue set against a brown background. Like number 61 and many of Rothko's other works, this piece uses thin washes of oil paint to create a luminous effect, with bold layers evoking intensity and emotion. Like much of Rothko's art, this painting reflects themes of human drama and his existential struggles. Near the end of his life, Rothko was commissioned to create murals for the Rothko Chapel in Houston, Texas. These abstract murals, made with acrylic paint on canvas, consisted of dark purples, browns, and blacks. The panels invite people to meditate on mortality, spirituality, and the human condition. They may also align with Rothko's personal struggles. Rothko died in 1970, about a year before the project was completed. Rothko significantly influenced other artists and movements. His reduction of form, color field techniques, and focus on luminosity, space, and emotion inspired artists like James Turrell and Olafur Eliasson. At first, Rothko struggled to gain recognition, but by the 1950s, his abstract works earned critical and commercial success. However, Rothko himself and some of his contemporaries were critical of his work being too simplistic, and the commercialization of his art was also an issue. For example, Rothko turned down a commission for the Four Seasons restaurant in New York City, believing the venue's atmosphere didn't match his art's themes. In another interview with David Ebony, an associate curator of the National Gallery of Art, Adam Greenhall, Christopher Rothko stated, "My father was commissioned by Philip Johnson, who was working on the Four Seasons restaurant in the Seagram building. He was to do a series of 5 murals for a private dining room there. My father saw this as a chance to make a major public statement and create his own room. He had a lot of misgivings about the project, and over time he realized that his serious paintings would not be able to compete with the restaurant's atmosphere of wine and dining. He withdrew from the commission, but in the meanwhile, he pushed his technique and visual vocabulary quite far forward with these works that would influence the rest of his career." Today, Rothko's works continue to be celebrated for their innovative techniques and ability to bring out emotions to those who view his work. The Rothko Chapel remains a popular destination for artists, thinkers, and spiritual seekers.